I think that dis-ease happens in our bodies. The last point of it is the physical aspect, the physical expression of the dis-ease, right? Was the tumor in my breast. Leading up to it, there is an imbalance somewhere. There is an unharmonious unbalance somewhere in a body for some type of dis-ease like that to express itself.
Welcome to the School of Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Litt. 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer. So before we get into this conversation, let's just be there, because 1 in 8 is a lot. And I remember the day that my incredible best friend, who is the guest today in this conversation, called me in shock and disbelief that she was 1 of the 8. And I know for me, in that moment, time kind of stopped. And I remember I was on the phone in one of my daughter's rooms by myself. And how the fuck did this happen? She's the healthiest person I know. She's a yogi. She moves her body. She's healthy. And this gorgeous woman that I'm going to introduce in a second has not only moved through her breast cancer journey that she will talk about, but has made a decision to share her experience, her wisdom, her perspectives on the limitation of the medical world and the necessity of the inclusion and the supplementation of the spiritual world into a stunning new book that unfortunately, 1 in 8 women will have in their hands. Because if you're going to experience the unasked for journey of breast cancer, the fact that you will now have the ability to have firsthand experience by this book. And now I'm glad the name is funny, because it'll take me out of the hysterical crying that I want to do right now. For the Love of Jugs, A Breastie's Guide, Creating Grace and Ease Through Your Breast Cancer Journey, written by the new author, Crissy Florio. Hi.
Hi. All right. We're breaking it out with the tears right
come
off
on,
the bat.
come
I know.
on.
Listen, I shouldn't even put on any type of mascara.
I know. I am so tripping a little bit that we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you made the decision to write this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the labor of love. And now we're not talking about it anymore.
It's
here. It's available on Amazon, and we're going to put the link in the show notes. Don't you worry. So I'm just so happy we're doing this, because it's so significant on so many levels.
Yeah.
And before I kind of hand you over the mic with some questions, I just want to share, for those of you that haven't met Crissy before or don't know, Crissy has been my best friend since 8th grade, and unwavering. Not sometimes you have best friends and then you separate or you lose touch or things happen. Mm-hmm. We have had unwavering, zero interruption, no conflict.
No.
Total fucking diehard, ease, love, rallying, always in your corner, go do it bigger now. What a fucking gift.
Yeah. As the way all relationships should be. Mm-hmm. But, it's so true. Not one day, not one day, not one argument, just pure love.
Yeah.
And I think that you and I just exude that. We both have it on our bodies.
Yes, we do.
And this did not happen at the same time.
That's right.
But it's just pure love.
Yeah.
Pure love. And I'm just in awe of you and everything that you have done and are continuing to build, and just the lives you are changing, including mine. I do the work that you put out into the world, and everybody who follows me now is able to receive the love of Tracy Litt too. So yeah.
Thank you. So the book came out 3 weeks ago.
Okay. February 23rd.
Thank you. February 23rd.
2025.
So how are you right now? Your book is out. What are you experiencing? What are you feeling? And what has this changed about what you know about yourself?
Well, first of all, I'm just living in a surreal life. I feel like at times people are like, "Oh, Crissy, can you come over and sign my book? I want to send it to, my loved one who's experiencing breast cancer," or just they bought it because they love me and they know that they also can gain some wisdom out of it. And that to me is kind of like, wait, I like have to look over my shoulder. Like, you fucking talking to me? Is that real? So that in itself, but I'm learning to receive that. I'm learning to say, hello, my name is Crissy Florio and I'm an author, right? And pretty soon, best-selling author.
That's right.
And that has been really, really huge to put in the work that I've been doing or do the work that I've been learning about and be my biggest cheerleader and, give myself my high five and pat myself on the back for what I did. And it truly was a labor of love. It was very cathartic. There was a lot of moments that I felt myself blocking myself from writing and being like, oh, let me go grab another cup of coffee or let me go schedule this with a girlfriend of mine type of thing. But I stopped myself. I recognized it. I was aware of it. And I knew that each moment that this book was not out in the world is I was doing a disservice to all the beautiful pink sisters that are going to come after me. And it's so needed. It is so needed. And what's so beautiful is so many of the beautiful women that have already been reading it, who have never even experienced cancer, are like, it is so relatable and it is so empowering and powerful. They say, I took breast cancer out and I put in their own dis-ease in their body or their own trauma, their own life situations. And they are like, wow, this is unbelievable. And that to me is just everything because yes, of course, I want to help my pink sisters, first and foremost, because that's who I wrote it for. But the fact that it's helping so many other women is just like, wow. And that I think is why it took me so long to really navigate what was the message? What did I want this to express? And how did I want to help people? And it wasn't just like, hey, here's a list of things that can help you in chemo, or here's a list of foods that you should or shouldn't eat. I'm not a doctor, right? I am an average woman who happened to go through it myself, but was already in a place in my life where holistic healing was not uncommon. Like you mentioned before, I was technically a healthy person. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. And just being able to take what I know about yoga, mindset, holistic healing, all of the different practices and tools that I've been kind of gearing up and putting it in my little back pocket, it was the time to actually put it into place. And so kind of going through my cancer diagnosis the way that I did, I knew that I could help people. And you obviously were a huge help in really nudging me and encouraging me to write the book.
Yes. I am as relentless to the people in my life as I am to you. I will hawk you because I see what's possible.
Yeah.
It's one of my gifts and one of my responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me be like, now more, sit down, make the time.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Right? Because it is such a gift. It is such a gift. So I want to go back to something because it's really important. And I'm just curious now that you're also farther away from the whole experience, you were a really healthy person. And you said before, women are now connecting non-cancer associated things with this concept of dis-ease. So can you speak to dis-ease, the way that you see it? And what is the honesty for you? Like, what was the dis-ease that drove your breast cancer?
So let me start with that question first.
Cool.
I think that dis-ease happens in our bodies. The last point of it is the physical aspect, the physical expression of the dis-ease, right? Was the tumor in my breast. Leading up to it, there is an imbalance somewhere. There is an unharmonious unbalance somewhere in a body for some type of dis-ease like that to express itself. We always hear about the mind-body connection, right? It's very big and everybody's throwing that out. But the way that I look at it is that in order for us to have harmony in our bodies, we need to have the mind, body, heart, soul connection, because things are not just physical. Things are not just energetic. Things are not just, spiritual. We have to look at all of it as a whole. So could it be something that happened to me when I was a child? Sure. Trauma crept up in the body, and it keeps just building and building and building. And then stress, external toxins, there's so many factors that can contribute to one's dis-ease in their bodies. And unfortunately, we live in a world right now where it's just go to the doctor. Our medical system is so compartmentalized, right? And you cannot heal from that place. And we also live in a very reactive or sick care, right? Mentality.
Sick care, yes.
Sick care instead of preventative. And so it's like, oh, I'm sick, I'm going to go to the doctor, rather than looking at like, how can I bring harmony in my body and ease in my body every day? How can I love my body enough to put the right things in my body, to put the right things on my body, to put myself in a situation where I'm not stressing about friends, or there's no, irritations and frustrations and no fights and no drama. Like, all of that matters. So why I think I got it, it could have been the extra estrogen, being on birth control for years and years and years. It could have been, the trauma that I had with my father being paralyzed when I was 5 years old. It could be lack of other things that I did. It could be my diet. I mean, there's so many things. And I think one of the beautiful things that I would love for every person whoever gets diagnosed with anything, is to not ask why. Because you're never going to get the answer. And if you're constantly searching and seeking, well, why, what happened? You're looking outside of yourself, right? And your healing needs to be like inside, be like, okay, I'm going to give myself grace now. I'm going to give myself compassion. I'm going to learn to trust my body again, and we're going to move on. And we're going to get past this, and we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And the thing I want to just like anchor in for all of you listening or watching, is if you have dis-ease in your body, it will make manifest in something physical at some point, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me think of my mom, right? Also perfectly healthy, great, never smoked, never drink, right? All of these things. And her cancer was because of the disease in her body and the emotion she never processed, and shit that my grandfather held from the Holocaust that was passed down to her.
I was going to say generational trauma too. Absolutely.
So it's so important that we sit here, because in the way we were all influenced to believe, we think if we get sick, that there is something, like there is some reason or some causation. So we go to the doctor because we've been trained to go to the doctor. And this is not about anti-doctor. I'm going to let Crissy speak to it. This is about integration. This is about wholeness. This is about looking at all aspects, right? And then getting the external solution, getting the pill, getting the thing, right? And then living, which I've never heard you say, sick care, which it's like so fucking accurate and also maddening. But that's part of why you wrote your book.
Yeah.
And I just want to anchor this, because if you live in a dysregulated state, if you haven't healed, if you're not processing your trauma, if you're not allowing yourself to get back into your body, if you're not feeling your feelings, you are perpetuating and almost like strengthening the dis-ease that currently exists in your system, because the opposite of dis-ease is ease.
Exactly.
Right? Or to your in harmony, that's Crissy's company name, that to be harmonious, to be in balance, to be in ease. And even right now, as we say that, both of our bodies are just like, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we all deserve to live, and where the consciousness revolution is taking us, and where, when we recognize, and I would like you to use these words, because it was when I read your book before it came out, and I said to you, this is fucking so powerful. When we can recognize that what presents is the portal, is the window, is the gift, then we're playing a different game, right? So,
you're looking at it as a gift and as a positive thing. And like, we hear about cancer and the language around cancer is cancer, fucking, all the things. It's very negative. It's scary, because cancer is scary, no doubt, right? Like you hear it and it's just immediately like, oh my gosh. But that doesn't mean that you can't find ease throughout a cancer diagnosis. It doesn't mean that you have to give into the cancer diagnosis and be fearful throughout the whole journey of, and for the rest of your life too. So you have two ways to look at it. You have basically a fork in the road. You get diagnosed. You can look at it as the gift, or you can look at it as like the woe is me, the damsel in distress. Like, I can't believe this happened to me, instead of, okay, this happened to me. What am I going to do with it now? And, give yourself some time too. I didn't think like that right off the bat, but I was just like, okay, all right, this is a part of my story. Let's go. But it's interesting. I look back at some of my journal prompts and I'm like, damn, I just have a positive tone in my writing, and this not positive where it's just all sunshines and rainbows, like positive in the aspect of like empowering positivity. Like, I got this. Like today, going to chemo, that's going to suck. But you know what? I can get through this. My body can do this. And more of that type of positivity, not that toxic positivity where you're not feeling, all the things. And I remember one day you were like, because Tracy would literally come with me, or she would take a COVID test, because this all happened in 2020. She would take a COVID test, then come and stay the night with me and lay in bed with me and rub my hair, or just like do something with my daughter.
Or watch endless episodes of Bobby Flay.
Yes.
Bobby Flay while we laid in the bed, because it was every chemo treatment.
Yes.
And with COVID, like especially your immune system was so sensitive.
Yeah. And I didn't know. I mean, the uncertainty of if somebody got COVID and then throw cancer and chemo on top of it, where your immune system is so totally suppressed, I just didn't know. But she would come and we would just lay, and just even like you would do stuff with Tony too, my daughter. And it was just really, really lovely. But I remember one time you saying to me, have you gotten angry yet? Have you screamed? Are you mad? Can you have you felt your fear? And fear and anger and angst are emotions that are very difficult for me to feel. And I know why, from my upbringing, where I had, my father was angry a lot of the time. And so I wanted to do everything to make him happy and make sure everything was cohesive in the household. So I understand that. But I remember one day, you weren't there, but it was just after this conversation. And I was sitting out on my patio by the pool, and it was a beautiful day like it is today, very sunny and cool and crisp and nice. And I closed my eyes and I could feel like, I want to feel the anger. I want to feel the anger, but I couldn't scream. And it was funny because I'm like, I don't know if my port going to fall out. But I had my eyes closed and I would take a deep breath and I would do this exhale. And it was almost like I saw thousands of black crows leaving my body. And it was like, that was the release. And it's like, I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to punch something. I didn't need a punching bag, but that was like, almost like that peaceful, but I was releasing some dark shit in my body. And it was so needed. And I think that, everybody in any type of whatever they're going through needs to feel all of the emotions, and it's okay to feel the anger. I always thought, I'm like a yogi. I can't be angry.
Right.
That's bullshit. Right. We do yoga so we don't punch somebody, right?
Right, exactly. And we feel our feelings so we don't punch people.
Right, exactly.
Right? So we stay regulated. And that's one of the things that I love so much about emotion, as you know, as I teach, and feeling your feelings and what it means to feel safe feeling your feelings, is because that is one of the primary things that alleviates dis-ease at the level of your system.
Yeah.
Right? Like the more emotionally decongested we are on any spectrum of emotion,
right,
the more we are clean and clear internally, and ease comes about more naturally.
Yeah.
Right? Without like, if you're trying to feel ease, you're
Yeah,
running in the wrong direction. That doesn't make any sense. Right. So it's like, how do you release more, allow more, process more, so that the ease becomes what's left. Right.
And, from a physical standpoint, right, we want to physically regulate our nervous system, right? And when I think about the nervous system, I also think about obviously the energy that's our body's holding. But then I also am learning more and more about the fascia system and how the fascia system is so tied to the nervous system. And that also the emotions and the trauma that we're holding and the stress that we're holding in our fascia, our whole body is fascia. And it's almost like the little Wi-Fi system to our bodies to create that mind body connection. And I kind of actually want to switch the concept of that. I think it should be body mind connection.
Yeah, agreed.
We want our body talking to our mind, not the mind talking to the body to say, hey, feel this. Because of course you're going to feel pain and you're going to feel things if your mind's constantly telling you to feel that. But if you can really be in the experience of your body and really understand, what am I feeling right now? Oh, there's a tingle that I'm feeling. Okay. Without making meaning of it, that's the body talking to the mind. And it really should be body, mind, heart, soul. Or heart, soul,
body, mind. Right.
Yeah.
Because the mind is the thing that has led us all, because we live in a world that doubles down on the neck upper and living in the mind.
Yeah.
But really the mind is the least vital and should be used intentionally when you need to utilize it as a tool, right? And the body and the heart and the soul and the spirit, and the thing that we come from that's bigger than us is where it's all at, right? Which is just amazing.
Yeah.
So I have a question. That profound thing where you say when you get the diagnosis, it's either a gift, which is a catalyst for growth, or it's a curse and you're running down the rabbit hole of victimhood. I'm curious, and I haven't asked you this even in our personal, not sitting doing a podcast. What are the gifts?
What is a gift of
what of your specific experience? What is a gift, the gifts of your cancer? And how are you different now?
I'm different in so many different ways. But I think that BC, before cancer, I was working in an industry that I didn't love, but I was making money doing it. I was doing my yoga on the side, just kind of as a part-time thing, knowing deep in my gut, I need to be helping people like that. This is my sole purpose, or one of them. And it's something that I'm really fucking good at. After cancer, it made me realize that you always wonder, like, oh, you never know how you're going to be until you're put into that situation, right? Well, I was put into a situation that I never once thought I would be in, but I was able to put a lot of my spiritual practices into place. And so by doing that, it gave me the confidence to understand that I can do this. I am meant to do this. I need to be doing this. And I'm doing a disservice to other people if I don't do this. So my cancer diagnosis has given me the confidence. And I know it's always within us, right? But that was the catalyst to just be like, no, you really can do this. And you have a niche now that you can really help a certain small percentage of people who it's going to trickle out to helping so many people. But I think that definitely has like catapulted me. How am I differently? Well, I mean, in 2020, before I got diagnosed, you held your first Worthy Human.
I did.
And I realized in sitting in the audience, kind of working, but also sitting and receiving and doing the work, I realized I enjoyed journaling so much. Before that, I had never really written or journaled. And that became a practice of mine. And then I started reading a little bit more, spiritual books or growth books. And then we went through quarantine, and then I got diagnosed. And when I got diagnosed, I would write not blogs, but kind of blogs to my family and friends, letting them know how I was feeling, what I'm doing. And so many people started to tell me, Crissy, wow, you're a really good writer. And at that moment, I was just like, I really enjoy this. It is cathartic and I am enjoying it. That has also taught me I am a good writer.
Mhm.
This is not something I would ever thought I would do at 16 years old. Are you
Mhm,
kidding me?
right.
If you told little 16-year-old Crissy, well, you know.
Oh, I know her well.
Not a
That's right.
chance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And so I think that has changed significantly. And my desire for spiritual healing and being around like-minded people like that, where we
Mhm.
can talk. I hate the word woo-woo, but all of that awesome spiritual, energetic stuff. It's like, oh my God, I get around people like that and I tingle and I can feel my own energy now and I can feel my gifts and my powers now because I'm living more consciously.
Mhm.
And it's not to say that I don't fall back and have, Doritos or what I love, I'm still going to be me, but I choose 90% of the time to eat better, to think better, to move my body, to put the good stuff on my body, in my body, right? Like
Mhm.
to live 90% of the time in a very healthy way, but still give myself some grace and,
Mhm.
be human every
Mhm.
now and then,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome. Something else that I want to reflect to you
Mhm.
that I notice as a gift is you used to be busy constantly.
Mhm. Yes.
You had mastered, and this, and I could say too, just like out of our love, in what happened is when you were little with your father's accident and all those things, like it was just like, I'm just gonna build an adaptation of fucking going and
Yeah,
going and
just
going and
go.
going because if I slow down, then what might come up, right? And
Mhm.
I see and feel and have experienced firsthand, there's just this like you're resting, you're
Mhm.
taking space, right? Not everything is like, okay, I'm awake now, I'm out the door. Like, and that's so significant because that's part of keeping the ease
Yeah, absolutely.
happening.
After, right, right. Like every morning, my morning routine is I try to get up earlier than everybody else in the house and I make my water, my coffee. I sit in the office and I just sit in our comfy chairs and I journal or I do a meditation. And that is my morning. I do not get up and rush out of the house unless I have to
Mm,
teach at 6 a.m.
right.
So, but
Right.
but then I still come home and I find space to do it
Yeah.
sometime throughout the day.
Yes.
And just even the meditation practice, I was dabbling in it before, but it really has become a
Yeah.
huge factor
Yeah.
in my daily
Yeah.
routines now. And
So
just
good.
it is so good.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good because it's presence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like actually living,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is the gift of when you look death in the face,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you don't become different after something like that,
Then
you
you're
know,
gonna probably be in the same position at some point in your
right, the
life
universe
again.
or God or whatever you believe in is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like, you're not paying attention, you're not
Yeah.
learning the lessons, you
Yeah.
know? So, so with this beautiful book, um, what are like the three like things that you love the most that you want listeners to hear about what's inside of this so
Mm.
they can get excited for themselves or their friends? And I know that sounds weird because this is a book about breast cancer. But when I say excited, it's like that's part of it. That's
Yeah.
part of seeing things as a gift, that if you are met with this, then it is happening for some reason.
Yeah.
And at least now you have the love of for the love of Jugs Breasties guide that is really truly great.
Yeah.
So what is in this thing that excites you?
Like everything about it. So it's not a memoir. It's a guide. It is
Okay.
a breastie's guide. It is a girlfriend's guide. It's your what to expect when expecting type of book
Mhm.
that is going to hold their hand along the way. So the moment they hear they have cancer
Mhm.
to hopefully that they're NED, no evidence of cancer or
Mhm.
disease. And I'm not going to ruin it, but there's something at the end that they can really help to move past
Mm.
it. But I think for me, some of the love that I put into it and the biggest things, the biggest takeaways I want these women to read is number one, that they have the power within them,
Mm.
tapping into their power, not giving their power away to whether it be the cancer or doctors or other people's opinions, but to really dig deep in what feels intuitively right for them. To understand the mind, body, heart, soul connection and to integrate conventional and traditional medicines together. You can be doing chemo, but then also, supporting yourself with energy work or with meditation or with, eating right. There's so many different holistic practices that we can merge the two together rather than it be a divorce of the two. And then there's a lot of opportunities for journaling, journal prompts, affirmations, changing our language around cancer and changing our mindset around it. There's even a beautiful guide that when you get the book, it'll direct you where you can go to. But I've also created this beautiful, it's called the Breast Ease Meditation Guide that you all can download. And it has meditations that I have recorded and it's practical, right? And that book, there's extra pages after each chapter that you can write whatever you want to write. It's your book, your Bible, your guide, whatever, it is yours for your whole journal, your journey. And there's just so many great nuggets about it. There just are.
It is. And the whole format of it, because I did get to read it before it came into the real world, it feels so loving and it really genuinely reads as like, oh my God, my best friend is guiding me through one of the scariest experiences of my life. And it's loving and it's real. And there are your own experiences, but then the guidance. And the other thing that I appreciate about it is the options, right? Like, because one of the things that you share is like, it's not one way is the way.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very much like, here are the things.
Yeah. You get to
try this or you can try this.
Yeah.
Right. So it really allows a woman to step into her power and do different things on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from everything from, adding in those holistic practices down to what you're going to do for your chemo, down to obviously what happens with reconstruction and surgery if you have that route, or radiation if you have that route. Think that's the power of anything in life, is that we get to choose, right? We get to choose what we do in our life, who we have in our life, how we think, how we speak. And so I wanted to just throw all the options out there so people can navigate it and create the journey that is meant for them. The other thing that I love about it too is, in any type of cancer diagnosis, your body is going to change somehow, way or another. So there's a topic or a chapter in there about body image. And I don't know about you, I think everybody needs a little work and inner work about body image and learning to love our bodies even more. And it's kind of interesting that we're coming back around to that, because this week that's come up multiple times in my teachings, or I was doing a breast cancer support group yesterday where I was invited to come and speak to. And I was talking about that again, and just learning to love our bodies and just be with what is, be accepting and be compassionate about this meat suit that we're in right now. And it's just, everybody needs that message.
Everybody needs that message. It's all about it. It's the work you do. It's the work we do, right? Reconnection to the body, relationship to the body, and that the body will call for your attention. Right. And like, let's say in my world and line of work, it's like, okay, where is your body constricted or tense? And where is it calling for your attention? And what message is it giving you, right? That's going to help you move through X, Y, and Z, or gain that clarity, or be more honest, or whatever. And through the lens of breast cancer, it's like when the cancer manifests from the disease, it's like your body saying, hey, I need your attention. And I'm going to really hyper focus your attention, because when we are in a life-threatening experience, we finally pay attention.
Right? And it's like, why do we wait to that point?
Exactly. It's like, how can we take these moments, leverage the moments to go, wait a second, the body's communicating you the whole entire time. It gets louder and louder and louder and makes manifest into things like that because we haven't been paying attention to it. And which is interesting to the reflection I made to you before about who you used to be in your constantness versus the spacious ease that you are now. That's interesting, because the busyness is a mechanism that prohibits you from feeling what the body might be communicating.
There was an interesting book that I read when my back was really screaming at me. And the whole concept and the gist was really about that it was the mind-body connection, and that when we have pain in our body, a lot of times it is our brain firing down to the neurons and the nerves to say, hey, focus on the pain, vibrate this pain out so we don't feel the emotions that we need to feel and get up and out, because the body wants to keep you the same, right? We know this, or the mind wants to keep you the same. And it was interesting. So I looked back, I'm like, why is that coming out? What emotions am I trying to release? And it was fear. There was something, I had to have another ultrasound done, and I was just not feeling right. And I was a little scared, and then writing the book and everything. And it was my body being like, hey, focus on the back pain. So she doesn't write this book. She can't sit down and write this book. She's got to lay down. She's got to focus on the back pain. It's very interesting. I'm like, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting? Step one of mind magic. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And, I just even has like my whole thing of my breast cancer has even changed the way that I teach. And all my little different teacher trainings that I've done since then, my yoga for cancer recovery, yoga in the lymphatic system, yoga and myofascial release. It's me learning more and more about the system of networks that we have and how we can bring harmony in our body so they're all talking to one another. And it's not just about like, all right, hey, I got the breast cancer out. Now I can just go do whatever. No, how can I align my systems so they're all working cohesively and smoothly to be able to detox the excess in my body, to be able to kind of create the ease in my fascia so I can move, and that the lymphatic system can move and detox and all the things. So it's very, very interesting. So I'm like, I love that aspect of it too. I become such a nerd on that type of stuff. It's just fascinating. The body is fascinating.
Yeah. It is. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. So before you share with the gorgeous listeners where to find you online, where to buy the book, I have like just a closing question for you. Yes. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes.
Okay.
I want you to imagine that every woman who has experienced, is experiencing, or will experience breast cancer is tuned in and listening attentively. And you have this moment to tell them what you really need them to hear or need them to know. What is that?
That they have the power within them if they put the time and the effort to find compassion and love for themselves. Because that is going to bring them into harmony and into alignment. And that is what's going to help them in their healing. They need to tap into that. We all need to tap into that. So bringing everything into this alignment, this cohesiveness, this harmony, this balance, all of those words feel so right. That we all need to reevaluate our lives and find the power that is within us, the lust that is within us to want to be able to love ourselves enough to realign and to come back to our wholeness and come back to ourselves.
It's so beautiful.
It's so true.
Thank you.
It just is. And it's like, it's not outside of us. It's like, we always want to look outside of us and have people tell us what we need and what we, and it's like, just stop. And you have the power within you to heal. You have the power within you.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
So fucking proud of you.
Thank you.
This is just the beginning. Yeah. This book is such a gift. It's such a gift. Where do we buy this book?
So we can buy it on Amazon. Okay. We can buy it on my website, fortheloveofjugs.com.
We have a website, fortheloveofjugs.com. And no, it's not what some of you think kind of website. That's the comment that David would make.
Yes. And he has it.
And he has it. Yeah. David goes, why aren't there pictures in this book? Why,
So, okay. Some of you guys might be asking, why For the Love of Jugs? Why is it named that?
Okay.
Well, my brother-in-law funny as he is, before I was diagnosed, he used to always call me Jugs because I was never well endowed. I never had anything. I was very small, still am. And he would say jokingly, he's like, "Hey, what's up, Jugs? How you doing, Jugs?" So when we were, contemplating, Tracy and I were actually chatting about this, like, what are we going to name this? And it was just like, for the love of Jugs, for the love.
That's right.
And it was like, okay, that's it. Because it's funny and it's light.
Is.
And the book has some of that lightness to it. And, it's not heavy. I mean, there are maybe some points where, a little heaviness, but don't worry, I got meditations to re-regulate your nervous system in those moments. But then there's a sense of lightness to it and hopefully joy. And I hope it brings everybody peace. So you can find it on Amazon, find it on fortheloveofjugs.com. And, I really just hope that this gets into the hands of so many people. So I want it to be the gift that the moment you hear somebody that you love is diagnosed, they need this book right away. And I know it's going to get into the hands of so many amazing people and everybody that it's meant for.
That's right. That's right. That part's already done.
Yeah.
So good. And also, just fun fact, this, by the way, is done by the incredible illustrator Michelle Sherman.
Amazing.
Ridiculous.
Oh.
But this is Crissy. So this is her tattoo and her peace sign. It was like a whole thing. And it was Crissy's vision brought to life by Michelle's illustration. And it's just stunning.
It's so gorgeous. She's so pretty.
Yeah.
She's just so pretty.
Isn't she? So good. And where can we connect with you on social or like contact you if someone wants to?
Yeah. So you can always go to my website, but I'm on Instagram is more so kind of like my business. So that's Flo, FLO _ with Crissy Florio. Okay. And it's Crissy, no H, but I'm sure you'll put everything in the show notes. And just definitely stay in touch. If you go to my website, you can plug in your email and I'll, keep everybody in the loop of the events that I'm going to be doing. And there will be lots of fun book events coming up all around the States. I want to bring some yoga events that will include stuff around the book or lymphatic care, empowerment, breast health. I have got a lot of amazing workshops that I love to do, and we'll be discussing what's in the book as well.
Yeah, that's exciting too. And we'll make sure to link like where you can drop your information because, that's something that I was interested in, just your journey. And now you're deep into education around breast health, which is the preventative side of this conversation, right? Yeah. This is here for those that are being given this gift of awakening and healing. And then there's this whole other opportunity for those of us that haven't or aren't to go, wait a second, what is breast health and how do I treat my breast and my body better? And what does that mean with the lymphatic system and the fascia and all these great things that I get to know about because I could just ask her things, but you get to know too. So amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you so much.
I love you so much. You are all better for having listened to this conversation. And until next time, remember there's always more love.
Yep. One love.
That's
Bye.
Right. Bye.